I lived in the northern part of Sakha or Yakutia, Russia for around 10 years, and I've encountered a lot of weird shit there. I'll start with some context. B13. Dad and mom break up because dad is abusive. Mom loses court case, and dad gains custody. After divorce, dad changes and starts seeing weirdos for quote-unquote life advice. Some guy tells him that he needs to cut himself from society to awaken his third eye, or some shit. So we moved from St. Petersburg to motherfucking City 5, a town so fucking secluded it didn't have a name. Life, as you would expect, was fucking shit and boring. The schools there don't even teach English, the official Yakut language, or even basic sciences. The locals are cool though. So, onto the paranormal stuff. I'll start off with the creepiest one. I've personally never encountered it. In fact, I've only known 3 people who claim they have. But the whole of City 5 is scared of it. We call it the Flat Man. It's said to appear in some of the most rural areas of the region. The best way I could describe it is to compare it to a living shadow, but it's more like a void in the shape of a human on the floor. Its shape cannot appear on trees or buildings, only the ground. Apparently, the Flat Man has made entire tribes of people disappear. In 1989, a group of around 10 people went to hunt it. 2 months later, clothing started to wash up in the local river. It was their clothing. Apart from being wet, the clothing wasn't damaged. The next night, screaming could be heard outside the town. Another time, some guy was hunting deer. He spotted a deer, but it seemed to have its leg stuck in something. When he got closer, he could see the Flat Man holding the deer's leg. It then started making a pulling motion. You know what happens when something is pulled through a tiny hole? Well, that is what basically happened to the deer. Not a trace of the deer left. Hunter instantly runs as far away as he can. I have a classmate, let's call him Igor. Igor's dad has encountered the Flat Man at one point. Be him, 1992. He works for a small wood-cutting business. Patches of forest are valuable in Yakutia, so if your boss tells you to go, you can't object. So, he's at the spot, and he comes across uprooted trees in the shape of a spiral. He tries to get the fuck out, but keeps coming back at the spiral. Notices that the other trees are still bending. Starts feeling weird sensation. His own body is swayed towards the spiral. The pull gets so strong that he has to push himself off trees to move. Then, suddenly, all the uprooted trees get sucked up into the ground. The force of the pull is so strong, it breaks one of his arms. He looks over, and there's a massive fucking hole where the spiral was. In the hole, he can make out the Flat Man. He starts moving in a swimming motion. See, the Flat Man is called that instead of like Shadow Man, because he doesn't move like one. He can't move his arms through his chest. So he moves in this weird swimming motion. Igor's dad starts running, and Flat Man gives chase. The Flat Man can fuck with shadows. Every time a shadow of a tree gets in the way, he kinda swats it away, and the entire tree breaks. He makes it to his car and manages to lose it. Me and a few friends actually managed to stumble onto the crater. And surely enough, it was in the shape of a spiral. It was overgrown. The entire time we were near it, everything felt floaty, and we couldn't feel, smell, or taste. And the last guy that I know of that encountered the Flat Man died in 2006. But someone told his story. Apparently he was a hermit and lived away from the town. One day, he noticed the land had risen slightly and messed with the foundation of the house, which was like the one in the pic. It keeps rising, so he gets a guy to take a look at it. Dude sees it and tells him to leave immediately. Hermit is stuck up, so he stays. He awakes to half of his house missing and a giant pillar in the sky. Some locals saw the pillar in the sky. A few of the braver ones go check it out. They find the guy. He's out cold. Guy's legs are missing. Said his legs were so cleanly cut, they weren't even bleeding. They get the guy and drive away. A few minutes later, pillar goes back down. Hermit wakes up. Says the Flat Man grabbed the shadow of his legs and just took them off before he passed out. Never went to the location because he genuinely lived in a scary as fuck place, full of bears and wolves. The flatman is the creepiest one by far. Nomads cover their ears if you bring them up, or straight up start a fight with you. Some of the more integrated nomads tell tales of ancient tribes that tried their hardest to eradicate it and went missing. He's the only thing that no one dares to fuck with. People don't like talking about him. Be me, admitted autist that does sus shit like take night walks with no reflective gear and talk to myself. Live in suburb of College Town, big park near my house. Always pass by it walking around the block. On aforementioned night walk, approaching park. Early weeknight, summer, nobody around. Dead quiet. Rustling of leaves in the wind. Some AC units. No dogs. Chirping of some night birds. Birds sound odd. Like out of tune. I don't recognize these songs. It's not coming from the trees like bird songs do. It's coming from a very specific location. That bench. Near the entrance of the park. I know that bench. Two hunky bro-looking dudes. Pick related, but with snapbacks. Looking like they're laughing and having a conversation. Laughing kind of like middle-aged men though, not like college guys, if you know what I mean. One of them doesn't do a double take but just peers all the way to my direction. Slowly. Like the white of his eyes totally visible looking to the side at me without turning his head. What? That JPEG. All of these details are making me wonder if I'm sleep deprived. Laughing sounds like college guys now. One of them says, "Hey!" Long pause. "Sup, bro?" Not about to get harassed or anything, so haven't said a word. Silently wave to them. Keep walking though. "Bro. Fuck." Lol. It's like a fuckboy soundboard. Decide, this is worth getting my ass beat. Say hello. "Sup, bro?" Smile. "Night walk?" Fuck." Yep. Nope. Yep. It sounded exactly the same. They continue laughing like it's their idle animation. One of them looks directly at me. Puckers his lip like a fish face, but sideways, if you can picture it. What the fuck? Make this uncanny whistling noise. Like halfway between a human whistle and a fucking fire alarm. I am visibly alarmed. More laughter. Now it sounds like middle-aged men again. More hearty, you know? Back away. Suddenly terrified. In a completely different way than before. Who the fuck are these guys? Or what? Don't want to run. Don't want to find out what they'll do if I ran. Put hands in pockets. Pick up the pace. They're just laughing. Laughing replaced by that, bird chirping sound. Clenching my teeth. Palms sweating like pigs in heat the whole time. Get home. Was going to get high. Just vape like crazy watching YouTube videos, desperately trying to settle down. Some hours pass. It's around 1 in the morning. Hear muffled loud beeps, not like car beeps, like computer beeps, but as loud and echoing, like car horns in the distance. Hear loud whoosh that sounds like a dive bomber, sped up and high-pitched, also echoes. Sonic boom. Lookout window. Clear sky. Starry. Ursa major visible. Stare for longer than I should have. Why are the sightings increasing so much lately? I live semi-rural now, and I'm not sleeping well anymore, knowing these things are out there. I saw one of those fuckers once. I used to love hiking with my dog. She and I would go on hikes in our area for like 30 to 60 minutes, just for exercise. And I would find cool rocks or pick wild berries. Just general outdoor friendship. A few years ago in mid-May, just when it was getting warm enough at night to go back hiking again, I set out and started walking with my dog, who is an 85-pound German Shepherd from a family of police dogs. She was the runt and wasn't getting fed by the mom, so I guess I quote-unquote rescued her. We were halfway through our hike when my dog just fucking stopped, like someone stomped on the brakes of a car going 60 miles per hour. I tried pulling her with all of my strength, and she refused to move forward. Then I saw her tail between her legs and she was growling really low and started peeing. I was freaking the fuck out because we have black bears in the area, and I don't carry a gun. I just had a folding knife in my pocket. So I looked forward on the trail, and there was this human-sized creature, all white and pale. No clothing, no hair. Huge black eyes that reflected light. You could see that they were shiny like glass or wet. It lowered down closer to the ground like it was trying to sneak or go into attack mode, and I just fucking ran for my life. I turned around and literally grabbed my dog by the face and ran down the hill and into the cul-de-sac where my neighbor's house is. He's a retired military vet from Desert Storm or some shit, so I ran into his backyard and I was screaming for him. I explained what happened and he looked like so pale and white in his face, like even he was freaking out. But he explained to me that he had been seeing this creature in his backyard and the wooded area for weeks. He thought it was flashbacks or something because of PTSD. After that, I didn't go hiking again for about 3 months, and never alone anymore. My dog won't even go on that trail. If we get close to it, she starts whining. I ran out of space, but this was in Pennsylvania near the border to Maryland, where I used to live before I took a job in New York. Now I go hiking in Central Park. Never seen any more rakes, but I did see a black guy get stabbed. I'll post something I shared in another thread. Be me doing K shit with friends in the woods. Rural PA, circa autumn, 2021. Dusk out. Everyone has already been shooting for the day at the gravel pit, and most of the ammo we bought is depleted. A couple of us have some rounds to burn off, and one of us has night vision, so 3 of us leave the campfire to go shoot what we have. Bring my hearing protection because I don't want tinnitus. This will be important later. Get to a sufficiently dark area, turn off our lamps, and switch on the nods that we take turns with. Super bright stars out when the clouds break. Otherwise, very dark, even with the gain turned all the way up. Don't like wearing them because my buddy's helmet is too small for me. We get ready to shoot. I throw on my ear pro and rip off 4 rounds from my FAL. Buddies each empty their mags into the bushes, and we all giggle like retards. I still have 2 mags of 7.62 left, so I tell the guys to head back up the trail and I'll finish up. It's only about 100 yards to the campfire. Dumbass friend yells, "What?" at me since he didn't bother bringing ear pro, and stood next to a battle rifle while it was firing. Repeat myself basically screaming it into his ear, and he gets the memo. Put my ear pro in and go back to shooting aimlessly. Just make it to the end of my second to last mag when I hear someone screaming bloody murder. Hear my friend, who just left, saying, "Stop, stop, I need help." Think, holy shit, I must have just hit one of them somehow. Somewhat stunned, I managed to blurt out, "You alright?" while choking on my own words. Hear a distant response, probably 50 yards into the brush. "Yeah, just get over here and help me." Whip out my tourniquet and start crashing into the brush, when I remember that both my friends weren't wearing ear pro, and that I had to practically scream at them just so they could understand me. Every hair on my body stands on end. Instead of moving any closer, I instead tear the old mag out of my FAL, slam in my last fresh mag, and rip the charging handle. Was never able to find the mag that I dropped. Fuckers are like $50 each. Blast 5 rounds in the general direction of the voice, like a moron, and hightail it out of there. Sprint back to camp where all the guys are pointing their guns at me. Am super confused until my buddies explain that they saw something moving in the trees out of the range of what they could make out under night vision. They figured it was a bear or something. Tell them what I just experienced, and we tactically shit ourselves as a collective. Nobody sleeps a wink that night, and instead we stay up to tell dumb stories while sleep deprived and on edge. Might have just been me and my friends freaking out after a day of drinking and autism, but man, if that didn't scare the living daylights out of me. In all honesty, it was probably a bear. I shared this when it originally happened last fall, but nobody believed me here since it was October, and everyone was LARPing. With my time at 4chan nearing its end, I had one last appointment with TV. My time with Anon had come to an end. During our time together, I had learned about his general cynicism and misanthropy, but also his irreverent, self-deprecating style of humor, and his ability to show compassion toward those who shared his feels. What had started as a journey into the dark side of the internet had become a poignant investigation into lives of wayward young men, with no community to fall back on and plenty of free time to spend online. They had forged an alliance not out of common interests, but a common sense of displacement. Although they had been attacked in the media as Nazis and perverts and nihilists, the picture I was presented with was one of loneliness and desperation. I finally realized that the internet hate machine hates nothing more than itself.